What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in with Hot Topic Trey with your boy Trey, where we will be talking all the hot topics, hot takes, and just analyzing the game of football and basketball. Now, I apologize to my baseball, hockey, soccer, MMA fans. I'm a fan of all sports. I love sports to death. I think it's the best metaphor to life. I just don't know enough about all those sports to be analyzing and talking them, and I don't want to be giving any misled information. But hopefully, we grow into that. Now, to start things off, man, I want to let you guys know we're gonna be talking our NFL award winners for the 2022-2023 season. The MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then Comeback Player of the Year. Now, I know we left one of them out as in Coach of the Year, but we're going to go ahead and just let that one scoot. I tell you now, I think Doug McDermott. We'll see, though. Now, first things first, to kick it off, I love to give a shout out to my lady, Mar, just to give me the confidence to do it, letting me know, just pushing me forward, giving me that edge that I needed. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and she's instilled a lot of confidence in me to doing so. So much love, much praise. I appreciate you. And then another shout out I gotta give, man, is to my dog, my brother from another mother, Dan, man. Much love. I appreciate you. From what you're doing, just the inspiration, the motivation, bro. I appreciate it, man. The conversations we've had, you just telling me, just do it, man. Just start recording and just do it like Nike. This is the first episode ever. Hopefully things pop off after this. So let's get into it, guys. We will be talking the MVP to kick things off. This was a battle in here. I'll tell you that. It was a battle. It was between Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. I went with Justin Herbert. I just made my final decision probably about an hour ago. About an hour ago. But I'm going with it, man. Justin Herbert, MVP for the 2022-2023 season. He was a lock as a top 5 quarterback. I think we can all agree on that last year. He completed 65.9% of his passes. He threw for 5,014 yards to 38 touchdowns and only 15 interceptions. 5 of those interceptions were tipped interceptions. I cannot wait for the NFL to get rid of that rule. That's a whole nother story, though. Whole nother discussion. Now, I know he's not the best runner in the world, most athletic runner, fastest, but he can scoot when needed. The guy averaged 5 yards per carry last year. He was a top 3 finisher in completions, attempts, yards, touchdowns, QBR, and fourth quarter comebacks. The guy's been nothing short of tremendous since he stepped foot on an NFL field. Week 2 against my homeboy and the Chiefs. He threw for 311 yards and a touchdown that game. Also rushed for a touchdown that game. He took a loss, 26-23, an overtime loss. It was nothing short of tremendous, though. As a rookie, you coming in against the Chiefs, you gotta give him all the praise in the world. And then you look at his rookie season. He broke the record for most passing yards, most total touchdowns, most completions, most games with 3+ passing touchdowns, and most 300-yard passing games. And then we look at his second year. He broke the record for most passing yards in your first 2 seasons, most total touchdowns in your first 2 seasons. First quarterback to record 30 touchdowns in each of the first 2 seasons. The guy is just only getting better. And then you look at his supporting cast and Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, Josh Palmer. That whole organization, since they moved to LA, I don't know, it's one of those if you know, you know situations, but from the owner down to the 53rd man on that roster, this is a well-oiled machine. This organization is doing some tremendous things, and I think the Chargers are going to be around for some time to come. I really, really do. So there you have it, your 2022-2023 MVP, Justin Herbert. Now, to kick things off with our Offensive Player of the Year. This one, the only thing I battled with this one was I feel whoever loses the MVP race between the two I mentioned in Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, the other one may end up winning the Offensive Player of the Year. But I don't want to talk about quarterbacks all day. As far as offense, We're going to go with Jonathan Taylor. First off, he's only 23 years of age. Very similar to Justin Herbert. You know, from year 1 to year 2, he took tremendous leaps. He's a great running back. As a rookie, he rushed for almost 1,200 yards, 1,169, 1,169 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Then he followed it up with 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns. What a leap. What a jump. Can you imagine what's coming year 3? I mean, if you look at the schedule they're playing, they got the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Titans twice. They play all 3 of those teams twice. The Titans just lost Harold Landry on the defensive line. It's a huge blow. I think he goes nuts all 6 of those games. We won't get into the numbers on what I think he'll do between those 6 games, but I think it's very high. Now, here's a hot take alert. Hot take alert. I think Jonathan Taylor may very well rush for 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. I said it. 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. Guys, I mean, when like I said, you look at the schedule. I mean, they have the 3rd easiest schedule in the league. I mean, he's got some favorable matchups. Some very favorable matchups. And then what did we see now? If this comes true, if he does rush for 2,000 yards, what did we know about 2,000-yard rushers? They usually turn into Offensive Player of the Year. 6 of them have went on to win Offensive Player of the Year, outside of Derrick Henry, and the only reason he didn't is because Cooper Kupp went triple crown. I mean, that hasn't been done for 16, 17 years. That's tough. We get it. And then with Eric Dickerson, the only reason he didn't win it is because Dan Marino, he went and broke the single-season passing record for 5,000 yards. That was the first time anyone has ever passed for over 5,000 yards, up until Drew Brees broke it in 2011. Side note, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Matthew Stafford all threw for 5,000 yards in 2011. How crazy. But I say that to say this. Unless someone has a historic, legendary season, I believe our 2022-2023 Offensive Player of the Year goes to Jonathan Taylor. That's what I got. Now, our Defensive Player of the Year next up. This was another tough one. They're all tough, but this was a tough one. It might have been the toughest one. It really might have. Defensive Player of the Year. It was so many of them, but it came down between T.J. Watt and Micah Parsons, and I will get into what I think became the biggest difference between the two and why I went with Micah Parsons. And trust me, it's so tough to go with him because I am not a Cowboys fan by any means. But I am a fan of Micah Parsons. So I believe he will be the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I think that goes unnoticed. Now, one hot take, I do believe he takes that jump from Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, to Defensive Player of the Year. Now, while there's only 2 people sitting at that table right now, I believe Micah Parsons got a chair and a plate of food waiting on him. I really do. The other 2 people sitting at that table, Luke Kuechly and Lawrence Taylor. Like I said, I believe Micah Parsons comes to that table after this season. I mean, last year he led all rookies, 13 tackles, 30 QB hits, and 20 tackles for a loss. Now, while having the second most combined tackles with 84. I apologize for that. He had the second most combined tackles with 84. Now, according to Sports Info Solutions, in which I'm a big fan of, shout out to you guys, man. Sports Info Solutions. Now he had the highest single season pressure rate since 2016 at 22.9%. The next closest person is DeMarcus Lawrence at 19.1%, followed by TJ Watt at 17.9%. Now, if you look at his college career and his NFL career, you can see as the season went on, he got better and better. It seems like as he gets adjusted and gets acclimated to the speed and the physicality of the game, he just gets better and better. It's like he gets an understanding of it. And you look at his last 9 weeks last year, he had 10.5 of his 13 total sacks. He had 11 of his total tackle for losses. And then he had 42 of his 84 combined tackles. The guy, I mean, he's due. He's due. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Once he gets understanding and he gets adjusted to the speed and physicality, he takes off. And then you look at the strength of schedule. I think he's gonna be going against some very, very vulnerable offensive lines. I mean, you look at it, he's got the Giants, the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings, the Texans, the Titans, the Jaguars, and then we'll see what the Washington Commanders look like after losing Eric Flowers and Brandon Sheriff to free agency. But if their offensive line is anything like I think it's gonna be, I mean that's 10 games he has against vulnerable offensive lines. So we'll see. But there you have it, your defensive player of the year, Micah Parsons. Now, we're going to move on to our comeback player of the year. Now, listen, this might have been the easiest one to me, to be honest. I don't know why this is even a question. I placed a little wager on comeback player of the year. Listen, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, man. McCaffrey. I apologize, brother. Listen, man, he is still that guy. It's like he's a ghost in the NFL right now. I don't understand. He's still young. He's only 26 years of age. He's still one of only 3 people to rush for 1,000 and receive for over 1,000 yards in a single season. Now, you got to think. I mean, in the last two seasons, he's only played in 7 games. But in those 7 games, with at least a 50% snap rate, he's totaled 978 yards and 8 touchdowns. Again, in a 7-game span with at least a 50% snap rate, Christian McCaffrey has totaled 978 yards and 8 tutties. Incredible. I think the only thing is just his front office and the medical staff did a horrible job of rushing him out there. I think we all know that. But everything you hear around, the team regarding CMC and his health is phenomenal right now. I mean, everything sounds great. We'll see what happens. But the only other 2 guys that gave a shot at this award was Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas. And I don't think either of them, if one has a great season, one can't be great without the other. In order for Michael Thomas to be great, Jameis has to be great, and vice versa. And then if they both are, I think they cancel each other out, and this goes to Christian McCaffrey. He's been so close to a couple of awards. I mean, you got to think, he got beat by Derrick Henry. He came second to Derrick Henry in the Heisman, and then he came second to Alvin Kamara, the Rookie of the Year. I think CMC finally gets a plaque on his wall. Comeback Player of the Year. My guy, CMC. Now, we're going to go with our Defensive Rookie of the Year. Detroit. Oh, man, I think it's just a phenomenal story. This guy, he's from Plymouth, Michigan, went to the University of Michigan, and then got drafted to the Detroit Lions. It's a great narrative, great story. How can he not? How can it not happen? Last year, he set the season sack record over at Michigan with 14. I mean, I understand the NFL and the college, they're 2 totally different levels. But in his first 2 snaps, this guy had a tackle, then followed that up with a tremendous, just bulldoze through the line for a tackle for a loss against the Falcons, against Quadre Allison. This guy just showed glimpse that he is here to stay and he's not going anywhere. I think he is going to, do some phenomenal things here in Detroit. Out of all the young guys on the defensive side of the ball, I really believe Hutchinson is more prepared to use his skill and motor than the likes of Walker and Kayvon. And he's not new to awards. At Michigan, nothing big, but he had several awards, such as the Ted Hendricks Award, the Lot Impact Award, and he also was runner-up in the Heisman Trophy voting. The guy's there. He's coming. He's here to stay. Defensive Rookie of the Year. You can book it. My guy, Aiden Hutchinson, man. I was hoping this video was gonna stay under 15 minutes. We're just getting close. I'm gonna probably be about a minute and a half. I'm gonna try to make this one quick. But my Offensive Rookie of the Year, I know this usually goes to quarterbacks. Not all the time, but it usually does. I'm going to go with Breece Hall. The other guy I was going to go with Kenny Pickett. But I don't think he's going to be good enough. I like Deontay Johnson a lot, but I don't think he's going to be able to be so great to the point he's going to upgrade Kenny Pickett. And I think that offense will be based around Najee Harris. I think he'll be the focal point of that offense. So we're going to go with Breece Hall. He's my personal favorite to win this award just because of his talent and the situation that he's inheriting with the Jets. He's definitely, in my eyes, he's going to be the lead back. The guy is just flat out talented. He totaled 3,941 yards and 50 touchdowns. It's almost 4,000 yards. He was an obvious All-American. He was Offensive Player of the Year back-to-back years. And he also set an FBS record of 24 straight games with a touchdown. 24 straight games with a touchdown. The guy's got a nose for the end zone. If there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That record stood tall since 1970. Since 1970. That's 41 years. I thought that record was cemented. Like, I thought the concrete couldn't break. Breece Hall, he broke it. I think he's here. I think he's another guy. I think he's a rookie that's here to stay. I mean, we'll see if Michael Carter is able to, challenge him for snaps and the workload in the backfield. But I think what we've seen early in the preseason, it's very small sample size, but the Jets shown they're willing to use him between the tackles, on the outside, and also in the passing game. So I think he'll be a 3-down back, which gives him a very good chance at having a successful season and putting together a very, very successful season. So we will see. I appreciate you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything that you liked about this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your loved ones. Much love, much appreciation. Again, appreciate you guys. Trey out.